So moving on to memory, they both ship with a 16 gigabyte micro SD card that's pre-installed. They're both expandable up to 32 gigs. And so, you know, in that respect, I'd say they're pretty much a tie. You know, since they both have the same capacity for memory, you know, it's a tie when it comes to that. So let's move on to the keyboard and messaging. So you can see the keyboards, and you know, you notice right off the bat that the HD2 screen is bigger, so obviously you have more room to type, which is going to make typing better. It's going to be more accurate. And that's what I found. You know, even though I love Android's stock keyboard, whenever I was testing it, the HD2 keyboard was better. And you know, whenever I was typing out sentences, I had far fewer mistakes with the HD2 keyboard compared to the Droid keyboard. So with keyboards, the winner is the HD2. Now they both also have a music player, and here we'll go over to music, and you can see HD2's music player is just, you know, it's really nice. And then if you go sideways, you know, then it shows it. Pretty cool animation there. And then if you tap on that album, shows you the song list for that album. Then you can play it from there. You also have the option of just going to your library, and you know, then you can choose by album, artist, any playlist that you have. So, you know, I think the music player on the HD2 is really beautiful. The Android music player, I don't have a lot of music, and so you know, we're not going to be able to scroll through all of it like I could on here, but you can see basically what it looks like. And it's, you know, it's really functional, and it's not ugly. It's just, you know, definitely not as attractive as the HD2's music player and its interface. So with music, the winner is the HD2. Okay, so now on to the biggest, or one of the biggest determining factors between whenever choosing a phone, and that is the operating system. This, you know, the HD2 uses Windows Mobile 6.5 with HTC Sense, and the Droid uses Android 2.0. It's compatible with 2.1, which most people are going to have on there, so we'll say Android 2.1. It doesn't have another UI laying over it, it's just stock Android. And so, you know, Sense is great. I love Sense. The things that it adds to a phone is just beautiful. Of course, you've got the weather tab. You've got, you know, it's HTC's Peep, which just comes with it, which is really nice. Even though it's not my favorite, you know, Twitter app or Twitter client, it's there and it comes with it. We talked about the music player, how beautiful it is. Going through pictures is just really nice. I mean, the whole interface itself on the HD2 with Sense is just great, and I love it. You don't have that with the Droid, which is something that, you know, people might not like, not having that user interface. But I'm gonna say, even though Sense is great, as much as I like Sense, that's how much I don't like Windows Mobile. And, you know, there's a lot of people out there. This is where it comes down simply to personal opinion. Because just because I don't like Windows Mobile doesn't mean that it's a bad operating system. It just means that it wasn't built for me, and therefore I can't adapt to it because, you know, I have no need for the features that most people love about it. So, you know, the people that love this phone or love Windows Mobile, you know, they'll probably like this phone, and that's fine because Windows Mobile is targeted towards a very specific demographic, and you know, I think they've kind of changed it a little bit. You know, and what I talked about with the HD2, it's not quite marketed the same way as was, you know, for example, the Touch Pro 2, but it is still Windows Mobile. So if you like Windows Mobile, then the HD2 is going to work fine for you. That's going to come down to personal opinion, whether you prefer Windows Mobile or Android. Now, I am going to say, you know, Windows Mobile comes with Sense, so that's one thing it's got going for it. But Android, it's going to have a lot more apps than Windows Mobile does. I mean, if you go to the market, there's just, you know, there's tons of apps, and that's something that Windows Mobile doesn't really have, even though it does have some apps. Android by far has way more. So, So that's another thing that, in my opinion, Android has going for it, the apps. But, you know, like I said, the HT2 froze up all the time at just random times. I had problems with certain apps that wouldn't function, that I have the same apps on Android, and I had no problem with it. So I am going to throw that out there. You can blame it on whatever you want, or say, you know, whatever I was doing wrong, or whatever went wrong. I'm just letting you know it did freeze up all the time, and that's not something that you can ignore. And that's something that a lot of people had a problem with it. So that's that with Windows Mobile. So there they are, guys, the HTC HD2 from T-Mobile and the Motorola Droid from Verizon. You know, they're both great smartphones. They both have great features and some strong points. In the end, it's mostly just up to you and which one you prefer, but hopefully this helps you guys to make a decision. Thanks, guys, for watching. I'm Sydney from PhoneDog.com, and be sure and check out PhoneDog.com for other news, updates, and reviews, and we're sure to keep you updated on other news that comes out. But anyway, again, I'm Sydney, and thanks, guys, for watching.